All right, kids. Unhappy Wednesday. Coming to you live once again from our humble abode. This is the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio and part of the Green Legion Radio family. We thank you for joining us tonight from wherever you may be and whatever device you're using to stream us on YouTube. So please pull up a chair, turn up the volume, use the company dime if, God forbid, you're still stuck at work. Crack open a cold one if that's your thing on a Wednesday night, and let's try to have some fun as we put an end to day 3 of this week's hostage situation and look forward to tomorrow being Friday Eve. Don't know who's out there. Just getting started here, so I'm going to give it a minute to kind of load up here, and I do apologize if I'm still having Wi-Fi issues. I did reset my router earlier today. Did a couple of speed tests on what on my system, and the speed is fine. It's just inconsistent. So what's happening is it's pinging all the way up to 500 or 600 in the download, 200 to 300 upload, but then it'll like just bottom out to like 100 on download and 20 on the upload for like maybe a second or two, and then it jumps back up again. So it's causing these latency issues that are really, really annoying. And it really rears its ugly head when somebody else joins the show. But regardless, what I did was I am inviting anyone who was at the parade. Once I get through the business end of things and we do the boner of the week real quick, I'm going to put the StreamYard link up. Anyone who was at the parade, you are welcome to click the link, come on in, and give us your parade experience, wherever you were, whether you were down at the beginning of it where I was at, or you were up in Midtown, or you were at the art museum, or anywhere in between. You're welcome to come on in and give your experience. So I invited anyone out there to do that once I get that StreamYard link up. Fanny, hey, cool kids. Hey, darling. How you doing? Good to see you. Keenan is here. What's up, buddy? Bummer that our interaction on Friday got cut so short, but in the literal sense, shit happens. So, all right, let me get the business end of this out of the way, and then we'll move to boner of the week, and then I'll get that link up for everybody. So, my wife's favorite part of the show. Everyone, we are proudly sponsored by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia, just minutes away from the sports complex. Cheerleaders brings you the area's most beautiful women on 5 different stages. Open 7 days a week from noon until 2 a.m. and until 4 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. For group information, call 215-467-1980 to reserve a private booth or party package. Also offering free parking, a full menu, daily drink and food specials, and a premium selection of cigars and a cigar lounge. If you can't get out to the link or you can't get out to the bank and you're looking for a place to watch your favorite sporting event, head on over to Cheerleaders and enjoy the 75-foot HD TV wall, as well as HD TV screens throughout the entire club. Once again, folks, that's Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, located at 2740 South Front Street in Philly. Call 215-467-1980 for all of your group and party information. Green Legion thing real quick. You guys and girls, most of the people that come in the room, have been doing things with the Green Legion for a number of years, so but we'll remind you anyways. And for anyone who hasn't been around all that long to really understand how things work, usually the beginning of March, early bird specials, early bird reservations, okay? So what you'll do is we know who we're going to play on the road. We just don't know what the dates are. But if you've got a game you want to go see, like take me, for example, I want to go to Lambeau. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll say, okay, I want to put an early bird deposit in for Lambeau for the trip to Green Bay. It's usually $150 a person. Don't quote me on that. May go up or whatever. So just wait for the information to come out. But usually 150 per person. That holds your spot. Now, when the schedule actually does come out, you get to see when that game will actually be. And if the dates don't work, like say, for example, I want to go to Green Bay, I put my deposit in, and then schedule comes out and we're playing Green Bay on Thanksgiving night, right? Well, Thanksgiving's a family day, right? Like I'm not, so I can't do it. What I can do is take my early bird deposit and either ask for a full refund or, more importantly, move it to another trip. We also are going to Tampa Bay this year. We're going to LA again this year. We're going to Minnesota this year. We are going to Kansas City this year. There's also Dallas, so you can always shift to a different trip or ask for a refund at that time. But be ready to pull the trigger on your early bird stuff here in the next couple of weeks. All right, so I just want to get that information out there. It comes quick, guys. We're already halfway through February. The NFL Combine coming up next weekend, Scouting Combine. I'm happy to say that there are, 10-ish or so of us from our Midwest Eagles Nest that are going to head out to Indianapolis and do the Combine for that Saturday. I'm looking like I'm going to stay through Sunday as well. Maybe not the whole day Sunday. Maybe get out of there 2, 3 o'clock. Get out home, be home for dinner time. But for me, it's only an hour and 40 minutes away. So I know there's a number of us heading out there from the Midwest Eagles Nest. I also pretty much think I've got confirmation of a very special guest who's looking to fly out for this one. And we'll talk about that as soon as I know for sure. And as soon as he's cool with me advertising that. But the NFL Combine comes up next, not this weekend, the weekend after. Right then is going to be right around early bird time for your Green Legion stuff. The NFL Draft is just 7 or 8 weeks after that. Schedule release comes out a week or so after that. And then you get your down period for football, where like the entire focus goes to baseball for a couple of months. There's some basketball, some hockey too, of course, but the main focus goes to baseball. No, Lou. And how you doing, my friend? I see you're in the room. No, Lou. It is not John Cena. So the Combine day that all of us look to be going to, the group of us, is the Saturday. And that's the day that you get to the drills you get to watch are quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. Now, from a Birds perspective, there's not much there, right? We've got our quarterback, we've got our running back, we've got our stud wide receivers. Now, you want to look at some wide receivers that might be a 5th round pick or something like that, running back in the 5th or 6th round, some deeper draft guys, I got it. Maybe a deeper in the draft quarterback for depth purposes, practice squad guys, got it. But you're there to, if you're there to see Ashton Genty, cool. Just understand that he's not going to be on the Eagles roster next year, right? Your top stud wide receivers are not going to be on the Eagles roster next year. Your top quarterbacks, all of that. So, but Sunday you do have defensive linemen, which I think is definitely an area that the Birds will look early. Yeah, there it is. Captain Debs enters the room. How you doing, my brother? Fanny says driving up early Saturday. Yeah, I'm considering that now because it's looking like we're probably going to stay into the Sunday. So I'm considering changing my hotel from the Friday night to the Saturday night. It just all depends. And we may all go out as a family. I don't know. We're going to figure it all out tonight, get it all lined up, and be ready to go. The biggest concern we have is with everyone going is somebody's got to be here to take care of the dog for a day or two. So we'll see. Captain Debs, Captain Debs defending freedom. The defender is in the house, y'all. So, what did we go over? We went over the Green Legion stuff, early bird stuff, combine coming up. Happy, joy. Now, boner of the week. I'm calling out the NFL on this. Look, if you're a defense or an opposing team, whatever, and you give up a touchdown, or you turn the ball over, or you give up a pick six or a scoop and score, whatever, you should feel bad about that, right? Shouldn't you? And I'm not saying that the team that scored should be able to come over to your bench and dance around in your face and whatnot. But is dunking the ball over a goalpost really hurting people's feelings that much? Is a rookie who is trying to show homage for the player's number that he's wearing with a sack celebration, who's that hurting? But here's the NFL, who went ahead and fined Jalix Hunt for the bow and arrow thing that Trent Cole used to do, number 58, right? He's not aiming it at someone. He didn't look down at Mahomes and go like this. It was paying homage to the guy that used to wear that number. And you fined him for it. I mean, how ridiculous. And then Milton Williams grabs his ball. He runs through the end zone. He dunks it over the goalpost, which, by the way, a guy his size that can do that, you should let it go just based on that athleticism alone. But no, they went and levied a massive fine. Well, I'd say massive, but pretty large fine for something so. And for Williams, they said it was unsportsmanlike and using a prop in a celebration. It's the fucking goalpost. Look, I'm sorry. But when you perform poorly, where the other team can take advantage of it, I don't want to hear about unsportsmanlike unless somebody's being absolutely egregious right in your face about it. Had Jalix Hunt knelt down over Patrick Mahomes and did the bow and arrow over his head, I got it. If Milton Williams went over and ran over near the Chiefs sideline and dunked the ball into one of their trash cans or something, I got it. What these two guys did was harmless. So, I mean, what's really the problem here? Is it because our birds smacked around their Princess Kermit and the rest of his band of Muppets? Or is it just becoming more and more of the no fun league? Let these guys enjoy themselves. I don't see the problem. Milton Williams dunks it over a goalpost, and this is some $15,000 fine. Meanwhile, every time there's a turnover, most times there's a turnover, the entire defense runs into the other end zone and does a group celebration. You shouldn't fine either of them, but there's no consistency at all. So, I mean, I'm sure we could find a ton of reasons why. I could give the boner of the week to Goodell and his Gestapo squad over there. But this one just felt like, first of all, one of them was a rookie, and showing respect to the gentleman who previously wore his number 58. The other one's a guy who, at his size, shouldn't be able to get up over a goalpost like that. So you should celebrate it. I don't know. I found it ridiculous. Somewhat $20 to $22,000 in fines total between those two things. Come on, man. Give me a break. You're talking about boner of the week easily. Pun intended. Slam dunk on this one. Roger Goodell and his nonsense. Yeah, is this the whole thing here? Yeah, so Milton Williams was fined $14,000, and Jalix Hunt was fined $5,600, just about $5,700. So yeah, about $20,000. They deemed what Hunt did a violent gesture. Talk about being out of touch with your own product. Even the bunch, I would tell you, even there's even some Chiefs fans that knew that was paying homage to Trent Cole. Stupid. Anyways, that's enough of that. All right. Let's get to why we're actually here. So first, let's get back to the room. Cat, do it. Opening day. Baseball. We'll see. Got a little ways off for that yet. Got to get through the combine and all that. And we get to late March. You got combine. You got March Madness. Cap. There's levels to this, my friend. So you got the combine in a week and a half. Not even. Really, it starts next Thursday, so you got a week-ish, 8 days. Then we've got March Madness. Then we've got opening day. Then we've got the NFL draft. Then we've got schedule release. So sports never shuts down, kids. We'll have plenty of content. All right. Let's get to why we're actually here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and we're going to paste this right in here. For anyone who was at the parade on Friday, feel free to click that link there in the chat room and come on in. Give us your experience, and I will give you mine as well. Mine was a very quick trip, as a lot of you are aware. I flew in Thursday, and the skies were not friendly to me on Thursday. It was a pain getting in there. Just bad luck with outgoing flight from Cincinnati. So I ended up having to switch, go connect to it through a different city, different airline. Had to get a refund from American. It was a fucking pain in the ass. Finally got to my to where I was going to be staying at about 8:00 on Thursday night. Then Friday is a big day, right? Friday we're up early. We're in the car heading over to Xfinity at 7:15. Make a pit stop at Wawa. Grab some cigarettes, some coffee, and head on over. Lou, I did. So the only cheesesteak I had was actually at the Philly airport on my way out. On my way out of town on Saturday morning. So here's Keenan Harmon. Keenan joins the room. What's up, my friend?
What's up?
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm alive. Beats the alternative.
Yep. I'm not ready for the alternative yet.
No, nobody should be. So you were there on Friday.
Yep.
You had the unfortunate experience of what we had to deal with at Xfinity, and that stunk, man. Everybody was pretty down about it. But so when we had to have all of you guys leave, did you just go right out to Pattison there and wait for the parade to come by?
No, man, it was a hot mess. My niece that was with me, she had to use the bathroom. So we went out that side gate, turned right on 11th Street, headed south. The security said there's porta potties behind the building. We get down there, and they wouldn't let her. I thought it was going to be a riot. About 24 porta potties back there, and they wouldn't let nobody use them. It was insane. But
it's brutal.
Yep, talked to a cop, and he actually told us go on the other side of the link. So we walked all the way around there, and there was a bunch of porta potties, no line. She went right in, and we looked down the street, and that's where they were loading the buses. So I got some good pictures. Yep. Yeah, I got some real good pictures, and we walked back up, and it basically stood in front of Xfinity and watched it go by. I did.
So you came back up to that spot then?
Yep. I did find out what caused the shitty issue.
It was a water main break.
Actually, so the hospital, I work at Children's Hospital, and we have a lot of subcontractors in there. one of the big plumbing subcontractors, he actually has the contract with Xfinity, and he was called from the parade down there to get somebody up in there. So he gets a crew up in there. They got into the sewer, the main, and it was packed with those little nip bottles of liquor that you would get off the airline. So apparently, people have been going in there for a long time, not wanting to spend $20 for a drink, bringing in their own nips, and instead of putting them in the trash can, they've been flushing them down the toilets.
Unbelievable. And this is what caused the break.
That's what caused it. He said no pipes broke. It was just so clogged that the wastewater was finding its way out of toilets, out of sinks, out of everything. That's why they had to shut the whole facility down, because they had to turn the water completely off, because anything that was getting into that sewer was just backing back up.
Yeah, I can tell you from firsthand experience, because we were there. We stuck around. We were helping get everybody out. And then we went walking through. We actually ended up going up on the roof to watch the parade.
I wish I knew that. I'd have hopped in y'all's back pocket. I seen the picture.
That was late stage, man. Like I didn't know what the hell was going on there. It's just like, hey, follow everybody upstairs. Like, okay. But when we walked through, I can tell you that there was like, and it stunk.
Oh.
It was nasty. I thought I heard that they were closed through yesterday or today. Like they still were not open yet.
When I finally got home, I was so pissed with them. I went to their webpage, and as soon as you opened up Xfinity's webpage, it was 2 p.m. We are reopened. I'm like, how in the hell did y'all clean up all that crap? Like, what? No way.
It was about 1:30, and I had gotten Q into his Uber, and then I was looking to get out of there. And they still were nowhere near opening at that point. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. For you?
I'm living the dream over here.
I know that's right. Keep living the dream. See
you.
You
Do the
same. She just comes Bogart.
But yeah, it was 1:30, 1:45 when I was getting out of there, like leaving the area. And I'm pretty sure they were still not open yet.
It was insane. But the parade, so in 2018, me and Pam actually went up to the Parkway, and we were up there about 9 o'clock. It had a good spot right under the New Zealand flag. But the thing was, the temperature was about the same. But it was like 1:30. We stood out there from like 10 to 1:30 before we got any action. You know what I mean? Before the buses started coming up. So when my niece called, like, can we go to the parade? Sure. We going to the Parkway? Hell no. We're going to try from the other end. I like at the start a lot better. It was more calm. It was less beer muscles going on.
Yeah.
And I was able to get really up close, especially when they were loading the buses. I'm going to send you some of these pictures.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
And then after they went by us, you know, the whole parade goes by. Said, all right, we found another bathroom for her. I was doing good that day. I didn't have to use the bathroom. Walked back up to the subway, got on and got off at Snyder Avenue, and was able to stand there with all my South Philly peeps and watch them go by again. And that crowd was nice. That crowd was real nice too. But I know the further north you get, especially after you pass Lombard South, starts. You're like stuck in a sardine can. When me and Pam went in 2018, you know, we waited so long. It went by. It actually took about a good hour and a half to 2 hours to walk from 21st and Parkway back to like 8th and Market before we could get on the L to come back west. It was insane.
God.
This time, next year, and I know it's going to be a next year. We're going back down to Xfinity and hope they have their plumbing issues worked out. You know, I've been going.
They have their literal shit together.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I go to as many Green Legion tailgates as possible, and I didn't get in this time. The only way you got to see me is when they started throwing people out. They opened that little exit gate that's never opened right there on 11th Street. And me and Kyra said, what the hell? We walked right on in. That's how, I didn't actually climb over the fence. I walked through the fence. But there's been several times at these things, those bathrooms have backed up and they've had to close them, but not to the extent, thank God, that it was on Friday. But that was part of my message I sent to Xfinity. You know, it's like these bathrooms, maybe here's a novel idea, get it fixed. But I think
fix the problem.
I think what they're going to have to do now is not only a metal detector, they're going to have to start patting these kids down for these little nip bottles, because ain't no grown adult going that nobody I know would go in there with nips in their pocket.
Well, and keep in mind, any Green Legion event, you already paid to get in there.
Right.
You're drinking for free for 4 hours anyways. There's no reason to bring this shit in there.
And this is probably going on Monday to Friday, and it's over on. From what I understand, the Cloud was over on the big side, what they call the NBC Arena. 1100 Social. 1100 Social. That the big.
That's
problem.
where we saw the water. That's where we saw the water coming up. Yeah.
Yep, but I'm looking forward to next year.
Uh-oh. We got another one joining here.
Who's that?
Lou Mancini's in the room.
Uh-oh. Hi, cousin Lou.
What's up, guys?
How we doing, my brother?
Oh man, I'm doing really good. Loving that game. Still high as a kite from it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a fun week and a half so far, that's for sure. I've encouraged all of my folks out here to be the absolute worst versions of themselves.
Yeah, I didn't go to the parade. I 25 years ago, I'd have been there in a heartbeat. It was just too cold for my old ass,
It was
Lou.
cold.
Lou, I'm older than you, Lou. Cut it out.
It was definitely cold that morning, no doubt about it.
But that was just unbelievable. I remember when Devontae caught that touchdown pass. I looked over at my buddy who hosted the party I was at, and I said, "Dude, we just won the Super Bowl."
Yeah, that was the dagger. Yeah.
You know what though? He says to me, "This game isn't over yet," and I all but told him, "Dude, I should slap you right now. This is over."
Look, let's all be honest here. We're all Eagles fans. We don't celebrate until you get 000s, right? Even that NFC Championship game back in 2017 when we mangled the Vikings. I had people texting me in the third quarter, "Congratulations." I'm like, you stop it right now. Don't text me anything until it's 000s. I don't want to hear shit.
No, you're right. I get that. I
will tell you that Devontae touchdown was definitely a dagger, man. They had just turned it over to us on downs. And if you guys don't know, that play, the Devontae touchdown, that was the 7th time that game that we lined up in the pistol formation. The 6 previous times, we handed the ball off. So Kansas City sees that. We're in plus territory. With a big lead, they're like, oh, they're running the ball. So they crept up. And this time they took play action, and Jalen with an absolutely gorgeous throw.
That was
the bucket to them.
That was the dime for sure.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So did you watch the parade on TV then, I'm guessing, Lou?
I watched some of it, I didn't see a whole lot of it. But I do got to ask you guys, did you see that bird bot thing?
No,
I don't know. We got another member coming in here, y'all.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, Russ?
Yo, I'm at work right now. I really can't say, but I had to poke my head in and say hi.
What's up, Russ?
Not much. I'm just living the dream.
Oh, yes, we all are, brother.
Without a doubt. I had to poke my head in for a hot minute. I'm still at work, though, so I just wanted to say, go Birds, and no Jalen on the Madden cover.
No Jalen on the Madden cover.
I'm down
No
with that.
Jaron, no
I told-
Barkley, no
I-
Devontae, no AJ, no Cooper, no none of them.
I-
Go pick somebody else.
when
I have
Russ
an idea. Put Jaden Daniels on the cover of Madden.
Put Jaden Daniels on the cover, man. Put
Yes.
Scott on the cover of Madden. Put
I
Jerry,
like
no,
that.
don't put Jerry Jones on there. We need Jerry to live forever. So
Yeah.
Russ posted that on Facebook, and they'll never put an eagle on the cover of Madden because none of us are elite. So,
I believe McNabb was on the cover one time.
and you
McNabb
see
was on the cover.
Yep. So yeah, hopefully we're not elite enough to be on the cover of Madden, and I like it that way.
Hey,
I'm fine with that.
no one likes us.
We don't
Gentlemen, have a good show. I'll catch up to you later.
Peace
All
out,
right,
bro.
Thanks for dropping in, Russ.
Later.
Fanny's over here saying she feels left out. Well, click the link, darling. And what are you waiting for?
Come on, Fanny, get on.
Come on in. Come on in. It's right there. I was trying to keep it to just folks that were at the parade, but hey, who gives a shit? Come on in. Share the Super Bowl. Well, Fanny was with me for the
Call
Super
me
Bowl.
Saturday. Oh, how do you mute this thing? I'll figure it out.
There you go.
So as far as Super Bowl swag and whatever, you guys got a bunch of shit yet?
So I've got my sweatshirt that Quimby gave me, the Green Legion one. I've got another hoodie on order. It is did you see the hoodie that CJ Gardner Johnson was wearing?
Oh,
it says-
is that
It says,
wait?
Swifties can LIX my balls.
Yeah.
I bought that.
Of course you did.
And I've got some stuff in the cart on Fanatics, like a couple of flags and some other shit. But I don't want to go too crazy. I've got a whole bunch of stuff hanging up over here already. Michelle's over here popping open a bottle of wine on a freaking Wednesday night. What is it? Scott Calcaterra, what's up, brother? What's up, boys? Love all the laughing. Yeah, we're trying to have a good time here tonight, man. Don't know if you've got the capability from home, but I'm going to keep popping that link up there. Come on in, share your Super Bowl or parade experience with us. Scott was with us out of here. Fanny was with us out here. Lou, you said you were at a party for the Super Bowl. Yeah, just looking for folks to come on in and share their experience tonight. I mean, we can move on and start talking free agency, but I'm trying.
Scott,
What's that? Lou?
no, I was going to say, Scott. Did you see your? Wait, is Grant your cousin?
Grant is his nephew.
Did you see him shotgun that beer on top of that bus?
Did you see him do the Stone Cold where he grabbed the two together and banged them together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Scott posted that one. That was pretty fun. Uh-oh. Hang on. Here he comes. Hey, what's up, Scott? How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, Lou. How are you?
Good. How about you, brother?
I'm good. I was on the show a little late, had a long distance phone call, and then my wife reminded me, like, hey, aren't you supposed to? Let me turn my speaker
Come on in, man.
So yeah, Lou, I had a bunch of people sending me some stuff, and I know Adam knows this, but my niece took a full beer can grenade off the skull during the parade, but she was a real trooper. We got extended videos of that, and she got medical care and got her head all wrapped and put on a knit cap, and it was party on for them. So yeah, we're extremely excited for our nephew and my brother and his entire family to be able to go to the Super Bowl and take that in and enjoy it as a family. So I appreciate everybody asking because it's
That's so awesome.
also
That really
get that
is.
onside kick at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Was
Yep.
special.
Get your hands on the football during the Super Bowl in any way, shape, or form, and that's pretty awesome. Keaton, what are you doing over there, brother?
I actually had company. I just walked him to the
Oh,
door.
shit.
He's not a big Eagles fan, but I told him I wasn't going to miss this. He stopped by unannounced.
You turned him away, didn't you? You said,
No, but get out.
I'm busy. Get out of here.
Go on, get.
You know, my other passion is auto racing, NHRA and NASCAR. So that's my gearhead buddy. He's not my football buddy.
Gotcha. So, Keaton, if you haven't noticed, Scott has joined us. He was with us at the back porch a few weeks ago.
Scott, that's Mr. Calcaterra's uncle, right?
Yes,
There you
sir.
go. Very good.
Yep.
He was just sharing with us about how Grant's wife took a beer can to the noggin while standing on the bus. Yeah. So, and really, like, hey, Philly fans, look, I get it. I know some of the players were waving to people to get them to throw them beers and stuff. So, in that aspect, first of all, let's be a little bit better about your aim. All right. But then, dude, if nobody's looking, don't throw the beer. Somebody hits Howie in the. Who the hell hits Howie Roseman in the forehead with a beer? Like,
at Broad and Snyder, it seemed the guys, all right, the players are on the bus. If the guys on the sidewalk were tossing them like underhanded with some loft to them, everyone got caught. It was the idiots that were like, thinking they're NFL quarterbacks, just launching them. Those were the ones getting missed.
Well, I saw the one video where somebody tries to throw one to Saquon, and it caught him off guard, and he like went like this, and it hit whoever, like the lady behind him. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, Philly going to Philly.
Yeah.
Honestly, humans going to human.
So, Lou, the same thing would have happened in Pottstown?
I don't live in Pottstown. I'm Phoenixville, brother.
Oh, okay.
That's Quimby.
That's right.
Sorry.
Quimby's in Pottstown, or from Pottstown.
Yeah, Quimby went. His father was a year ahead of my father at St. Pius High School in Pottstown, and he can't get it out of his head that I don't live in Pottstown. I live in Phoenixville, and I'm all right with that because I love Quimby.
I love him too. You should have seen him Friday though, when them people weren't clearing out fast enough. Oh my God.
We overall most people were cool. So he makes the announcement and then kills the radio show, right? Then gets back on and announces it again. And we're kind of all just sitting there talking to each other and look out and nobody's moving. Like, I mean, nobody moved. So eventually it got to the point where, like, now the staff at Xfinity were coming out telling people to leave, and people still weren't moving. So we all went out and started helping. And don't get me wrong, most people were cool about it. There was one guy in particular that one of the ladies working at Xfinity came over to Samantha and I and said, "Hey, your guy down there in the Jalen Hurts sweatshirt with the brown winter hat on is refusing to leave." And I said, "Well, what's his problem?" "Well, he wants his refund right now." And Sam just kind of looks at me. I'm like, "I got it." So I go walking down there. By the time I get down there, he goes and leans against the outside bar like this. Like some little chubby troll, right? And he, "Hey, Scott, just in case you don't know, you've muted yourself, just so you know. I can unmute you if you want." There you go. Okay.
I'm good. I was fixing the reverb. Sorry.
No worries. I just wanted to make sure you knew. So that guy, he's just sitting there. So I go over nicely, try to talk to him. "Hey, bud, are you waiting for your folks or whatever?" He says, "Oh, yeah, they're in the bathroom." I said, well, now I know you're lying to me because nobody's in the bathroom. That's where the problem is. So he goes, well, honestly, I'm not leaving until I get my refund. I said, well, look, man, that's just not how it works. You know, Green Legion has to go through steps with the establishment here to get reimbursed, and then that'll come to you. I'm sure there'll be an email coming out very shortly. Well, I'm not leaving until I get my refund. Now I've gotten aggravated. So I light up a cigarette. I've still got a beer in my hand. I look at the dude and I'm like, look, man, you're much better off dealing with me before they send over the tree trunk that works security here and they throw you over the fence. Like, because that's the next step. You're going to get literally picked up and tossed out of here. Or you can just take my advice and just walk right out that gate over there. He looks at me, well, who the fuck are you, man? I said, look, man, I work for the Green Legion, dude. Don't even worry about it. Just, you know, it's time to go. Man, fuck you. And I dead stop, put my shit down, look him dead in the eye, and just, you go on, get now while you're still able to. And his buddy comes over and grabs. The guy was just being obnoxious. Yeah. It's like, dude, you see everyone else leaving. Look, nobody's happy about it, least of all us, right? Yeah. But like, the establishment is telling you to leave. Like, you have to go. At that point, if you refuse to leave when they tell you to, technically, you can be arrested for trespassing. That's actually how things work. It's not, I'm not voting. It doesn't work that way.
Was this that guy that was crying on that post about the
I don't know who the hell that guy was.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do. And like everybody came unhinged on him. I'm like, that guy was just a Karen on the post. I don't know if that was the same guy.
He was the Queen Karen, man.
Oh, it's terrible. Scott, in case you haven't heard, the Green Legion event is the same place where we have our home tailgates, right? Yeah. Xfinity Live, which is right down there at the sports complex, right outside the link, pretty much right at the corner of Patterson and Broad, right where the parade is going by. Event starts at 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, at about 9, we had to have everyone leave because they had a problem with the sewage backed up, and the whole place got backed up, stink ass coming up there. Yeah. So obviously for safety purposes, they had to have everybody leave the premises. So we had one guy that was very upset about it and was refusing to leave. Then we had another guy go onto a Facebook post that was made by the Green Legion telling people to be patient, and he wants to give advice about how the Green Legion should have communicated to everyone. Right. Just crying and pissing and moaning. It's like, dude, you spent $75. You're going to get your money back. Just relax. So that's where that's coming from.
yeah. Scott, if you had seen that back and forth, it was just like, oh my God, are you serious, dude?
But then there's people on the other side of the spectrum that attend these things, while me and my niece were standing in line. We're leaning on the fence. Got the people who made it in, and there's a guy right there at the fence. He's just running back and forth to the bar, bringing people in line, Jack and Coke. And
yeah, that was a bad idea.
My niece loves the tailgate, the steak and eggs. That's why
steak and eggs. I knew it.
She was pissed off. No steak and eggs. Oh my God, going crazy. Well, he stopped bringing
food was one thing, but bringing people booze out there was not a good idea.
Well, he's bringing. He brought a couple of drinks out to the girls, and then 5 minutes later, he's standing directly over Kyra, and all you hear is steak and eggs. She looked up, biggest smile I've ever seen. I got a picture of her standing on the corner, standing on the sidewalk on 11th Street by a cop car, just eating her steak and eggs. Then they come out, make the announcement, we got to shut down. I said, Kyra, we're not getting in. She's like, I'm still hungry. I look over, and the guy is sitting on the fence. I was like, go tell your boy you're still hungry. This time he came back with steak, eggs, and bacon. Now we were both. I was able, the next day, he's posting on the Green Legion page about how he was.
Oh, I saw your exchange. Yeah.
So now the guy's name is Walter right, and I think we're going to be friends. At least him and my niece will be friends forever.
Yeah, last year we saw Xfinity when we went up for a game last year. It was well after the game was over, and we were done visiting with Grant down in the bottom of the stadium, and then we came out. And I was just amazed at the whole complex around the stadium, and didn't realize everything is just right there.
Yeah.
What a great concept! You know, I wish more places would do it like that because I kept seeing the Xfinity and I kept asking, and I guess, is that just like a live bar? Or what is it?
It's a whole complex. So like the NBC place, 1100 Social is the larger area, and that is a massive. I think they can fit like 4,000 people in there.
Wow.
The area that the Green Legion uses for the home tailgates and what we had for the Kegs and Eggs thing parade day is another 1,000-person footprint.
Wow.
With indoor and outdoor option.
Huh.
So I mean, the place is absolutely huge, and they've got all different kinds. Now you walk into the main area, and there's the main bar. The entire wall behind it is just TV, and I mean it is freaking huge. From maybe 8 feet up to like what feels like the ceiling of the place.
Yeah.
And as wide as you can see is all screens. It's just wild.
Who owns that?
Xfinity.
Okay.
It's advertised as the largest bar in the
Yeah, that's Comcast.
Comcast Xfinity, yeah.
Yep. And it's advertised as the largest bar in the tri-state area.
Wow. I want to do it. I mean, I know you're
Absolutely
trying
huge.
to.
And it's right down there at the complex.
Well, back in the day, before they built Xfinity, the old Flyers and Sixers arena was there, which was the Spectrum.
The Spectrum. Yeah. Saw a game there once, way back in. Lou,
now it's the Wells Fargo Center.
You're too young for this, Adam, but us older folks know who Dancing Harry was, and George McGinnis, and Billy Cunningham, and Bobby Jones.
I saw Hal Greer play at the freaking Spectrum.
Yeah. And then, of course, when Daryl Dawkins, the Chocolate Thunder came, huge fan.
Oh, yeah.
I just love Daryl Dawkins.
He was great. From the planet Lovetron.
He would say, like when he introduced somebody or he would meet you, he'd go, "Thank you very much." So, yeah, I called myself Vanilla Thunder in high school because of Daryl Dawkins.
You know what, though, Scott? I mean, like right now, you're amazed at what Xfinity and all that is like. Where do you see it in a few years? Because the Sixers were threatening to move downtown in the Chinatown area. And
I heard that.
And they did a freaking U-turn, and boom, they're back in bed with Comcast, and they're going to build some crazy thing there. We'll see. I mean, I don't know how soon that's going to happen, but I mean, they're talking.
What are they going to do with the Wells Fargo?
That's the Flyers' home.
I think the Wells Fargo. I don't know. I mean, eventually, I gotta believe they will replace that, but I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if you're going to build something else massive right down there, you don't really have the space if you're going to keep all the parking lots, right? So either you lose parking or something has to go, right? The bank isn't going anywhere. The link isn't going anywhere. So it's the Wells Fargo Center that's going to be the one that has to go.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. Something's got to give there. I mean, there's only so much, elevated parking, whatever you call that they could do. But it looks like it's going to happen eventually.
And I'm glad they changed their mind, putting a sports complex in the part of downtown. There's a major hospital 2 blocks from where they were going to build that thing. Imagine you're having a heart attack and that ambulance trying to get down. It was going to be a mess. It was going.
Oh wow, yeah, no, that'd be no good.
I agree,
And
Keenan. I agree, Keenan. That was,
Yep.
and plus Chinatown, man. Come
Exactly.
on.
Exactly. And I haven't been a lot of places, but traveling with Green Legion, I've been to a half dozen different cities, and Philly does it best. Everything is in one area. I don't care what you want to. You want to play baseball, basketball, football, hockey. It's all right there.
Yeah, I was going to back Scott up on that one too. He brought it up before about how, seeing it like that where everything's just down there. It's outside the city. It's all on its own. They share the parking lots. There's a billion of them. You got the casino right there as well. Huge Xfinity Live Center, 1100 social to go do your partying at if that's what you want to do. You don't have to worry about, trying to park in South Philly which is fucking impossible to begin with, right? Like it's just nowhere to do it.
You got the train.
You would have to take the rail. If they were to move the Sixers into Chinatown or wherever in the city, you would have to take the rail. Philadelphia parking is worse than New York. It's worse than Chicago. It's worse than anywhere else I think I've ever been. You have to take the rail, or you're going to pay an absolutely obscene amount of money to park in one of the garages downtown, and then still end up having to walk a mile just to get to the damn stadium.
Yep.
So they need to, as best as they can, they need to try to keep what they've got there, which is that sports complex down outside of South Philly, just down away from everything.
Oh, good.
The train ride is fun. I mean, I've been to 2 Eagles games, and we took the train, and that in itself is a blast.
That's where Quimby, I think it was when we were in LA, we were talking about different stadiums, and he had brought up the link, and he says, and I told him, I said, when I'm ranking the ones I've been at, I never include our home stadium because I don't think it's fair to do that because I'm going to be biased, right? I love it. But so what he says, he's like, the link, it's got no character. And he's not wrong if you just look at it from a building perspective. But what I told him was, it doesn't need character. It has us.
Yeah.
We bring the fans are what make that experience.
Right.
Well,
it has 70,000 characters on football.
That's exactly right.
hey, the best food choices, though. I mean, bar none. I'm shocked when we go there, the variety of food options.
Oh, have you been to Citizens Bank for a Phillies game yet?
No, I have not. Better.
The food options there are really good. Yeah.
We've, I've been blessed to get to a lot of football games over the years and ticket holders at different places. And we were just shocked at the variety and the quality on top of it. I mean, they have good food. It's not crap.
No, it's not. I mean, hell, look, you can get a solid cheesesteak at 7:00 in the morning at the Philly airport. I just did it a couple of days ago. So,
hey, when we were up in January, I did the same thing. I made sure to get a cheesesteak before we flew. Did you do American Airline? Is that who you flew, Adam? Or?
I flew American. Yeah. So I was in Terminal F. Yeah. I was in Terminal F, and I got the
back
Tony Luke's.
in like 11:30. I think it gets you back at 11:30 in the morning. So yeah, I said to my wife, man, we should at least check Dayton because I totally forgot that maybe there's a little bit better rate, and that's not that far of a drive for us either.
No, not for us either. It's roughly 45 minutes either way for us. So I always shop both.
You're trying to do the Green Legion connection in September. Is that what you said? I think at one point in time.
So for us out here, Midwest Eagles Nest wise, trying to get people to go to Philly.
I mean, right? I'm interested in that.
So, we'll get the flight figured out. We'll get the hotel figured out. Tailgate we'll do with the Green Legion at Xfinity. I'll get all that straightened out.
And you think that's September or October, Adam?
Preferably September, but really don't want to go past like the middle of October because I think I'll start losing people at that point because the weather starts to turn and you get a lot of people just don't want to deal with it.
Right.
But yeah, if we could get somewhere before through like the middle of October, somewhere in that area from the start of season to there. and tailgate will be, we'll do that Xfinity. That's usually like $75 a person. It's 4 hours, all you can eat, all you can drink.
Right.
Before walk. The only thing I'm not going to do is the game tickets.
Yeah.
Because it's just, first of all, it's god awful expensive. Second of all, trying to get everyone to sit together is virtually impossible at the link. So
not after. Yeah. I mean, if they weren't very good, maybe, but not now.
There's no way now. No way.
No way.
So that'll be the only portion of it that I won't do. See, everyone would be on their own for tickets. But other than that, I'll get all the rest of it figured out. Yep.
Well, I know Keenan's been there, but has Adam or Scott, have you guys ever been to Veteran Stadium?
The Vet? No, I never went to the Vet.
No.
Oh, that was crazy.
No, and I mean, I had opportunities to. I was still pretty young, living in Southern Connecticut. And I had opportunities to go, and I just, for one reason or another, it just never worked out.
I remember going to Philly games. General admission was like $1.50 back in the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, is that crazy or what?
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
I told Adam a couple of weeks ago that when my dad went up to Detroit when the Bengals played up there in the Super Bowl against San Fran, it was $40 a ticket.
Oh my God!
That's 1982 for a Super Bowl.
$40 for a Super Bowl ticket. Could you imagine?
And I know through the Eagles for the Super Bowl for my brother, it was $5,500 a ticket, man. I know.
Wow.
I mean, Jenny and I costed it out. I mean, it was going to cost us close to, $15,000 to go to the game. And I'm like, hell, that's a used car I could drive for 10 years,
That's right. People ask me if I was going, and I'm like, I'm not in that tax bracket. Sorry.
No kidding. That's why we went up to the Rams game, and granted, it was cold as shit for the Snow Bowl, but man, what a great game and a great environment, and that's a lifelong memory for Jenny and I. We had a blast.
Captain Dem says any day but opening day. That's the hardest ticket every year. Yeah, I won't even consider the opener. The opener is likely going to be that Thursday night game, the first game of the year, because we're the defending champs. I would almost bet my life on it that we're going to play that Thursday night at home. If I had to guess, looking at the teams we play at home this year, who we're going to play that first game, do not be at all surprised if it's Detroit that we get that first game on that Thursday night.
Well,
that's the one that makes the most sense to me.
I'd like to go on record saying if for any reason Baseball Cap cannot make it to the home opener, I will gladly take his tickets off his hands.
Well, are they going to go down to Australia for Jordan? Because I heard they were, but then I heard they weren't. Does anybody know what's going on with that?
So,
that would be really cool, by the way.
The rumor was 2026 with that.
Oh, okay.
But then that got kind of kiboshed, and now it's kind of up in the air right now. We're not really sure. I can tell you personally, I'm never going to Australia.
Well, I just think it's cool that they do it.
Yeah, so do I. And I mean, if the Eagles end up playing there, Green Legion will run a trip down there. No question about it. But for me, I'm not spending 18 hours on a plane one way. Just to fly someplace where every living creature on the island can kill you. I'm good.
I just want to see if the toilets do spin opposite way that they do up here.
Valid point.
Well, if you go, Keenan, report back and let us know.
I'll do a Facebook Live.
Do they do a? You have to have the special plugins like Europe, where you have to have the converter to plug anything in for their wall plugins.
I have
curious.
no clue.
Since you mentioned, I forgot the swirly going in reverse. I am thinking about. I'm thinking about going up to summer camp. I'm a teacher, so I got time in the summer, and I'm like, maybe I should just take a trip up to Philly and be Adam's like little sportscaster for the UnHappy show, and Just you spend like 4 or 5 days up at training camp and get all the scoop.
Dude,
Sounds
if
fun.
I had the opportunity, I would totally go.
I mean,
There'd be
that's
no
where I think
question.
the fun is.
Oh,
I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I just got to clear it with the nephew.
Yeah, dude, that would be cool, man. I think absolutely, yeah. We get
And
you
then I
out.
could do like a cheesecake run from A to Z of all the different freaking cheesesteaks in that town. But I really want a roast pork sandwich.
Yeah. So what? So Keenan, help me out here. John's roast pork and what is it? The Nick's at Reading Market.
Nick's or John's, yep.
Yeah.
Red Terminal
Yeah.
Market.
Well, John's is like a John Beard or a Beard award-winning location, is my understanding.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get a James Beard award, so it's got to be pretty damn good.
John's roast pork, excellent cheesesteak. The roast pork, obviously. My favorite cheesesteak is still Angelo's on 9th there, right up from the Italian market. So,
hey, I will tell you, the back porch was really good. I was impressed with how good that was.
Back porch does a good job, man.
Wow.
They really do.
It was, I mean, I should have got a second one. It was so daggone good. But, I'm trying to get in that Biggest Loser competition with you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I think we've got about 5 guys right now that are like, all right.
It's just something to do, It doesn't have to be so, like you said.
No, but and just try to keep. That's what I told everybody. I'm like, look, man, if you're not comfortable, it's okay. Nobody's forcing anybody to do anything here.
Well,
just I preach eating heavy food and drinking beer all football season long. The least I can do in the off season is try to preach you guys getting a little bit more healthy before next season comes. Right?
Exactly. I mean, I need to get in my banana hammock.
You got to get in your banana hammock for training camp.
That's the whole plan, man. That's the whole plan. I don't want pictures, but if you show up at training camp wearing that thing, we need a picture of Grant's face when you show up wearing it. I mean, 6'8" guy parading around in that would be quite comical. So the visual's killing you, Adam. I know.
Picturing the look on your nephew's face as you try to walk up and watch these guys at training camp. He's looking over like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I've been thinking hard about going up there. I think it would be a lot of fun. I got some time to kill. Make the drive up, make it fun, hang out. As you know, I got some friends up that way as well. But yeah, I could give you, we can try to go on a Wednesday so I can chime in and give you the play-by-play.
Well, dude, and I can move the show to another night. I do
Oh,
it all
no,
the
dude.
time.
I mean, Wednesdays is awesome. And, it's less hectic on a weekday like that than, trying to get up there on a weekend. I'm sure the place is standing room only. I mean, the Bengals are standing room only for camp sometimes. So, I mean, I've been thinking about it. Obviously, I got to get it cleared with the Grantster and see if that works into his schedule. Because I know usually his wife, Sophie, won't be up there at that time. So we could just hang out. Did we lose them all?
Yeah, looks like Keenan Bailey. Lou dropped out. I don't even think he knew he dropped out. He says, I bailed, apparently.
So those guys are out of Philly, huh?
Yeah. So Lou lives in Phoenixville, and Keenan's up in Philadelphia as well. So
that's awesome.
Here's Captain Demps. Captain Demps, training camp isn't how it used to be. There's only one open practice at the link. All others are at NovaCare. You can get a special invite to one of the 8, though. Use your connection. I usually go. And he is, Cap, so is a club seat holder.
Wow.
So that's,
Yeah.
So
I get it. I mean, you can't have just wild people running around, probably, So that makes sense.
A nice offer.
I appreciate the heads up on that.
Cap says he'll come hang out with you if you come on.
Please do. Give me the
great
rundown.
The defender, Captain Demps. You could do a lot worse. That's for sure. Hopefully,
your reach is so big, Adam. That's impressive.
Hopefully, he brings his daughter, Naya. She absolutely lights up an entire universe. She talk about a lot of energy on a little girl. She's something else. He brings her on the away trips. Cap goes to every game.
Wow, that's awesome.
Home and away, and he brings Naya on a lot of them. And she is too much. Running around yelling for Uncle Quimby all the time.
How many people you got going over to the combine?
So it's starting to look like my whole family's going to go to Indy. Now Michelle and Brooklyn won't come to the combine; it's not their thing.
Right.
But I've got my boys, Grady and Liam. You met Liam.
Yeah.
You've not met Grady yet.
Yeah.
But then Tom, he's going to go. Fanny's going to go. I think Amy and her husband, Bill, were going to go. And I want to say there were 2 or 3 others. It's somewhere around 10-ish people total.
That's fantastic. I mean,
yeah, it'd be fun. It's free.
Yeah,
absolutely. You just got to get there, eat, all that other shit you got to pay for. But it's a free event the NFL does. So you can go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, when I went a couple of years ago, I had a really good time. One of the things I learned was the players, to get to and from the hotel, there's a tunnel under the stadium that goes right up to the hotel. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So they're not out in the elements or having, transportation. They just run through the tunnel. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
I know Fanny's got big aspirations of trying to get pictures and autographs from Jalen Milroe. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Everything I'm reading is telling you that they don't really let these kids. That shit's not really a thing because they want them focused on the task at hand, right?
Well, you can't get into the hotel unless you got passes where they stay. And so I'm
talking about at the stadium.
Yeah, they're not
accessible, are they?
No, they're not really accessible. They're kind of far away, depending on what crew comes in. They usually keep the seating at one side and they do the activities at the other side. You can see great. And some of the 40-yard and stuff, they'll end in that one end zone. I guess that would be the south end zone.
Okay.
And
I've been to Lucas Oil once, and I thought the place was beautiful.
Yeah. Did you go last year or for 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I guess, when the birds were there? Yeah. It's always weird seeing a sporting event indoors, though,
It is, but if I had to pick an indoor stadium to do it at, you could pick a lot worse than Lucas Oil. That place is really nice.
Actually, yeah, we've been over a couple of times, and we've also I got to coach a game in Market where the Pacers play as well, which was really cool.
Been there twice. That's a nice arena too.
Yeah, they do some really cool stuff for high school teams to come over and play, and then you get to take in a game later. So yeah, we did that a while ago, but it was a lot of fun, and I like Indy. It's, as you know, it's an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. There's a ton to do over there. Lots of shops, lots of food, depending on where you're staying. And,
St. Elmo's.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time. Obviously, going over there in warmer weather's better. I mean, they got a good zoo.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've run over a few times, and when I used to live in Florida, I used to fly in and out of Indy on Southwest. I mean, if you're flying into Cincy, you got to get a car anyway. So what's an extra, hour for savings? You know what I mean? So yeah, Jenny and I flew in and out of Southwest all the time, out of Indy, just because it was always the cheapest rate. And we had to get a rental car anyway, so it worked out great. Except for that time change crap they do over there, those Hoosiers.
Fanning says she's there for the pictures.
Well,
I'm not sure. We'll be able to get some group pictures. I know I want to get one with everybody at the Peyton Manning statue. I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch of other stuff set up that the NFL has set up for the weekend. And, we'll get pictures of all that. As far as getting pictures with players, though, Fanny, Scott's got some experience here going to these things, and plus from his nephew as well. You really can't get near these guys without some sort of pass or something that I am not going to have. And, I don't know. I don't know of any way to get that. I'm not really going to look into it. That's not what I'm there for. I'm going to watch some of these things, especially some of your more unknown running backs and wide receivers, because that might be a place the Eagles look later in the draft. But as far as like access to the players, they really try to keep those kids away from that for the combine. This is everything I've read, because they're focused on, my 40 time, my bench press, my high jump, my my tackling drills, all of this stuff. It's a lot for them to do in a very short period of time, and it's there to help them improve their draft stock, not for them to improve their fanfare.
Does she have a really nice quality camera? Then she'll be able to zoom in and get some good pics. Some of the drills they do are really cool. That was one of the things I learned. Like, it's high hand coordination stuff and route running. But there again, Tom is a little more versed than I am, because it's been 3 years since I was over. So I think he said he went over last year. And so he would know, but from my experience 3 years ago, it was you didn't have really access. I mean, I took pictures the best I could on a phone at Zoom, but you can take pictures off of the Jumbotron. So, and because they rerun the 40-yard up there, and so yeah, it is great experience. The concessions is open, just a section. They block off a bunch of stuff. And parking's accessible because it's not like a football game, so it's not really a big problem. And,
there's not 70,000 people trying to get in there, right?
No. Although they changed when I went, it was a Thursday night.
So it runs Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, I went on a Thursday night, and that's when they were doing tight ends. I only went over, just to see my nephew. So I don't know what it's like. I think you said you're going over on a Friday night and then checking it out on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, on the Saturday is your quarterback, running back, and wide receiver, which is the big sexy place. That's what everybody wants to go see. All the, how fast can he run the 40? Somebody going to be Xavier Worthy again. So it's probably going to be more people than the Thursday night. But I don't know. I still can't imagine the place is going to be like, sold out, right? I mean,
no. I mean, believe it or not a lot of people know it's free unless you just happen to know somebody or you research it, because maybe I never knew it was free until I knew Grant was going to be at the combine. I'm like, damn, this is awesome. And then I got in there and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, you get to see a lot of people and, kind of see who's up and coming, and then speculate on who they're going to draft and all that stuff. So, you guys are it's great that you're taking your family. You guys need some family time, I know.
Yeah, the weekend, the football season was a lot, especially this past year when we got to the playoffs, and the head count for us out here really went through the roof. It took a lot of energy out of Mike and I both.
Oh, I can imagine.
To try to keep things. Well, what we saw for the game against Green Bay was what we thought we were going to have for the entirety of the playoffs. And from the Green Bay game to the Super Bowl, it increased by 125 people on its own, 140 people on its own, just in that span of time. That was where we had to block off the whole restaurant. It was crazy.
How many people joined the Midwest Eagles Nest Facebook page after the playoffs started? Because I know you were getting like daily requests.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a few in there now that I have to go and look at, but it's quelled down now, thankfully. I think not long before the playoffs started, I had put out a post and said, hey, we just hit 300 people.
Yeah.
And it was either right after the Super Bowl or, I think it was right after the Super Bowl. I had put up, we just hit 400. So just in that couple of weeks span of time, it went up by 100 people. And that's just the Facebook group. Read them out. And I'll ask people, if I can't see where they're from, like, hey, are you in our area? And they'll tell me, no, I'm in like Phoenix, Arizona. I'm like, well, dude, look, I'm in Southwest Ohio. What do you want with us here? You know what I mean?
And how many do you think you've totally added since you did your guerrilla marketing at the Bengals game?
Oh, that's when it really blew up. It's probably gone up 200 since then.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know what the cards were that you had printed cost you, but obviously cost effective.
So the back porch actually picked up the tab on those.
Did they really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest here. We were promoting business into the restaurant, you know, so they
Right.
were willing to take the gamble and see if it worked out, and it did.
Well, that's good marketing on Mike's part. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that was, we had talked about it because we had done wristbands, right? Wristbands with the QR code on them. And then going into that weekend, he's like, look, the porch will pay for them. Get something together. So I went on to Vistaprint and created that. And,
Nice.
I went ahead and ordered them. He, porch reimbursed. And then we handed them out all downtown that weekend. It was pretty wild. So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Jimmy making an appearance at the Super Bowl, and he came over, and I mean, we talked for like 15 minutes. It was really cool as shit. But I can only imagine what he thought when he walked in and just saw the efforts that have gone on to make this all happen. I mean, he had a big smile on his face anytime I looked over at him.
Oh, I'm quite sure he did.
Yeah. Yeah, he
would stop up periodically throughout the year. He'd pop in on Sundays. And so he saw it. He saw it going up as the year went on. He'd come in, I love the Eagle fans. I look at him like, I'm sure you do, Jimmy.
Well, the fact that he gave, Mike so much leeway. I mean, I don't know if he had to, if they had any headbutting over it at all. I don't think so. But, hey, it worked, I mean, it worked.
And that's what, that's what we tried to tell people is like, look, we started this just like, him and I have been watching games together for, this coming season, it'll be 19 years.
That's what you said.
Yeah. So, but we really started pushing this when I came back from Arizona back in 22. And, at the time him and Angie were planning their wedding. So we just kind of like, look, dude, I don't need you to do anything, but just as we grow, see what you can get us from the bar, right? Can you get us drink specials? Are cheesesteaks a possibility? All that sort of stuff.
Huh.
And true to his word, Mike never made a liar out of me, right? I kept telling people, if you go out there and recruit, and we keep getting our head count coming up, the more consistent our number is every week, the more stuff we're going to be able to get from the back porch, and it worked. So it kind of worked out to where, I take care of the group, he takes care of the bar end of it, and we work together to make this all happen. And it worked, man.
Well, I think in reality, not only myself, but a lot of your followers really do want to hear your story that you guys have talked about. I've picked up bits and pieces, obviously, for the short time I've been involved, but I'm really looking forward to the podcast that you guys do. And maybe you should do that right before the season opens or whatever, but people want to hear the story.
So the way I'd like to do it, and I'm gonna run this, see what Mike thinks about it. The way I'd like to do it, every year that we've been doing this, we've tried to have like a preseason kind of pep rally thing, right?
Sure.
The hope is that we can get it on on the last preseason game of the year, and maybe it's televised. But just to wait for especially newcomers that have joined the group that haven't been out with us yet, or only once or twice, don't really know the regulars or something. Get as many people out as we can. And I think that's the time to do that. Is have that get together, and then that's the time where Mike and I sit down and give the story so that everybody can hear it.
It's a great story.
That's kind of what's in my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal. I know you always want to give credit to, the people that joined, but in reality, you guys working together to make it happen really is kind of an amazing story and definitely worth telling.
Well, and even Mike tries to, when people come up and ask, he tries to give me all the credit. Yeah. And I tell him, like, this is a fucking team, dude. Like, are there other bars that would love to have 300 people at them? Sure. However, it didn't start with 300. You know what I mean? It started with like 5, 10. And the back porch allowed us to grow that there. So it's not just
storm.
the place has a lot of meaning to both of us. Obviously, Mike has spent, most of his adult life working there. I met my wife there.
That's what you said.
Yeah, so I mean, it's got a lot of special meaning to, and not just us, but other people.
Kimberly met her husband there as well.
Yep, exactly.
And her dad reached out to me, by the way, which I was very appreciative, and I thanked him again for having his anniversary so I could kind of sit at his table because, I mean, thank you as well. I know I've told you that a few times, but my wife talked to Kimberly quite a bit that night, and it was really cool. Her telling the story, and I didn't know her husband really is a Packers fan.
He is. He's a Packers fan.
But, you know, he gets it and is supportive, and I'm really looking forward to meeting mom and dad and a lot of other people that I obviously didn't get a chance to talk to for the celebration. But, yeah, dude, we're still on a high from being able to watch that Super Bowl with you guys. It was just one hell of a time. And, of course, as we all know, what an ass whooping. Which made it even better. You know, no one had us. I mean, even you, when we did the podcast, we talked that we thought the game was going to be within 3 to 6 points and
low scoring. Yeah.
And low scoring. But goodness gracious, they didn't even get across midfield till middle of the third quarter.
Spencer's in the room, belt to ass.
Well, you know, this came up the other day and I forgot, but when we lost the first Super Bowl to the Chiefs, those knucklehead offensive linemen wore those 0 sacks shirts to their parade.
Yep.
And I think, you know, people were taking receipts on that. And I give the Eagles credit that they didn't stoop to that level. But I thought that was kind of
CJ did.
What's that?
Gardner Johnson did.
Yeah, that's true. But it wasn't like a team effort to make a point of, oh, by the way, you didn't get any sacks. I think there has to be win with grace, be a little humble. And I thought the Eagles actually did a great job of that.
Well, and see, the players don't have to do it, don't have to stoop to that level because the fans will take care of that for them.
Oh, that's true.
So I actually ordered that sweatshirt that Gardner Johnson was wearing.
Which was very creative.
This can licks my balls.
Yeah, it took me a minute to get it, and I'm like, oh, that's a freaking Super Bowl number.
Yeah. So mine will be here Saturday.
Yeah, I very well. So was the NFL shop closed when you were at the parade? Or were you able to get in? I know that was your plan.
The places where everything was picked over.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, and I'm not surprised. So I just ended up ordering stuff, which is it's what I kind of assumed. I never really got from, you know, these knuckleheads what they really wanted, except for my my son who wanted a pin. Oh. But yeah, Spencer's right here. The day of the parade, the shop at the stadium was actually closed because where the parade was, where they were loading up the buses was right there at the link. So they didn't want people going over there to the pro shop while they're trying to set up the parade over there too. So it was closed that day. Yeah, it made total sense to me.
I think
everything else was picked over.
Here's a gift for Michelle. You can get her a T-shirt from the cheerleader club with the whole tagline you do. I'm sorry.
She's gonna kill me one of these times when I announce that's her favorite part of the show.
Oh, I love it.
Gonna jump through the screen and stab me with it.
Oh, no, I get a kick out of it when you rattle that off. You've got it down to an exact science, and you always
you had me cracking up this morning when you said your wife looked at you and said day 3 of the hostage situation.
Yeah, she said something on the way out the door. What's Adam always say about hostage? And I'm like, yeah. And I you took a break yesterday, and like I'm driving into work. I'm like, damn, I'm kind of bummed that, you know, Adam's not doing this little morning routine, so I have something to laugh at on my way to work. So it is enjoyable, but I also know football's over, so I guess I have to wean myself off a little bit.
Yeah, well, I do too, because I got so used to doing it that it just became part of my morning routine. Throughout the playoffs, it was necessary because I had to keep regurgitating that same message to folks: buy reservation only. You got to communicate, yada 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 yada, all the other stuff. That now it's, you know, you get a creature of habit. I get in the car and and even when it's the weekend, like I'm just running up to Home Depot or something. I'm like, okay, I'm in the car. I have to go live. Like, no, you don't have to fucking do that anymore.
Well,
you can take a break from it.
I love the fact that Fanny is always on. She is a dedicated, true fan.
She is. She's very dedicated.
I mean, I feel like she's on 24/7 almost, because every time you're doing something or there's something on the Facebook page, there's Fanny, and I'm like, man, what a great fan. And boy, I had the best time meeting her and James, and she just is just a really kind-hearted soul.
So that's I think that's the most enjoyable part of continuing to put this group together, is even with the amount of growth that we've had, we've not brought in knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Right. The way Mike and I wanted this to be was a family atmosphere. And it's remained that way, even with that huge influx of people coming in late in the year. It would have been very easy for us to be like, all right, yeah, we're filling the place. And then like all of a sudden you get a table full of 21 to 25-year-olds that are just completely out of control. And that didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. And so that's something that we're both very, very happy about is, no, we're not our average age in the group, I don't know, it's probably somewhere around 40, 42 average, maybe a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But, you don't have the amateur night folks coming in there. You know what I mean? Like your St. Patrick's Day drinking going on game day. Now, don't get me wrong, Mike and I will throw back enough to drown most people in the place, but you don't get that violent, that idiot behavior where people are just so out of control, like what you see at tailgates outside of games. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the other thing is, and I know it's part of your rules, but it's a place where people can get away from all the crazy crap of politics, and we can just be a unit. For me personally, I had just a delightful conversation with Mel, John's wife, and their kids, and I really enjoyed that. Mel she made the koozies, and John's a principal, so obviously I can relate to the education factor, but and Mel's from Australia, so that was great hearing her story, and we just had a great time talking to a lot of people, and everyone was so gracious, and I'll be honest with you, had that not occurred, Adam, and I wouldn't have found some algorithm that stumbled me into the Facebook page, I would have been sitting home watching this game by myself, and I can't imagine not being able to do what we did at the Super Bowl and being around just so many wonderful people, and what a hell of a party. And a hell of a cheesesteak. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I just kept telling my wife, man, this is one of the better cheesesteaks I've ever had.
Yeah, they do a really good job. Well, the bread is straight from the Amoroso Bakery. Yeah. And then for the playoffs, because of the jump in head count, jump in head count, able to get more stuff. Cheese Whiz became available. Cooper Sharp became available. Right. The Cooper Sharp to me is the absolute game changer. Once you brought
without a doubt, that made the sandwich. And then kudos to Mike on the way they did the ordering by section. I mean, it was flawless.
That was clutch.
It was huge. And then you had the opportunity to order more. I mean, it was very well thought out and very well done. And I don't think you could have done it any better. It was flawless.
Yeah, the only thing I told him was next year I'm going to need more capacity.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I think he said that he can only go up, right? He can only go.
Yeah, it's nowhere to go, man. I mean, that time of the year, the outside's not open. So
second level. By the way, I got one more question for you, but I noticed when you got up out of your chair, I happened to see a Italian Stallion shirt or something.
Yeah, it's my sweatshirt.
There you go, brother.
It's a zipped up hoodie.
Yeah, you and I talked about it because we talked about gravy or red sauce.
Yeah, and I told you both sides of my family.
Both sides of the family call it two different things, because that's when you can really tell who's Paisan, is how they discuss their red sauce. And I'll tell you where I want to go, though, is I got Aroma, I think it's called, but Big Dom's part of that. And I'm sure you've seen some of the Big Dom, like they look like the Godfather shirt kind of thing that some people have been sporting. I know Grant's been out there to eat, and a few other people, Cam, and But if I do go up in the summer, I'm gonna check that out because my brother went as well, and he said the food's really, really good. It's kind of a low key Italian place, and
Those are always the best.
No, those are the best.
Yeah.
And I kind of rate Italian food a little more strenuous than other food, just because we grew up with it. So.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, I mean, you get not just. I mean, you're kind of that way about cheesesteaks, obviously. But I'll be honest with you, when people come here and talk about chili, I'm like, we're not just a chili town. We're a freaking ice cream town, man. I mean, just think of all the ice cream that's here. It's
the graters and
Aglamisi's,
yep,
UDF. I mean,
UDF, the cone over here in Westchester, which just got bought, so that's going to continue operating.
I saw that recently. So but I like your shirt. I have a few Italian stallion things as well around the house.
I actually have custom cornhole boards with that on it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to these other functions you're having. I'll definitely come out for the NCAA tournament.
So we'll do that either the first weekend or the second weekend. Usually during the off season, I try to keep shit to Saturdays. It's just easier for people.
Sure.
We don't have, Sundays. We give up our Sundays off football all season long. The other that stuff there is that Mike ends up having to work on Saturdays, so it makes it a little tough. So I try to do it late in the day or evening because he works day on Saturdays.
Boy, Angie's a sweetheart too, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And her parents were there. They're awesome people too.
Yeah, she introduced me. She gave us those nice bead things, and since my daughter couldn't be with us when we were over at Ohio University this past weekend, I gave them to her so she could kind of be a part of what we've been experiencing. So,
yep. Well, all right, Scott.
Well, I always enjoy hanging out with you, man.
Rock and roll here, brother.
Well, I appreciate you letting me hop on here.
No, hey, man, you are always welcome here. You've always got a home here.
Hey, I didn't realize our original podcast really had a lot of views.
Oh yeah. I think it was up to 130 something.
Yeah, that's
something like that. Yeah. You should have seen when we used to be we lost connection to Facebook and to Twitter for monetary. They wanted you to pay for stuff.
Of course.
So we're just YouTube now. But when we had all three running, I mean, I would carry, by the time the next week's show came around, I'd be looking at probably a total of 1,000 to 1,500 views across all three channels. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And then we lost those two, and it just made it more difficult. So not everybody.
Hypothetically, if as we talked this morning via text, if you get the 501c3, maybe you can take some of the funding out of there to get that reach again.
So that would be something. Yeah, that would have to be separate from Green Legion.
I guess you're right. I forgot about that.
So this is separate from this. What I do here on Wednesday nights is a Green Legion thing.
Sponsored.
It's not.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, it's not connected to the back porch or to Midwest Eagles Nest. They don't mind that I talk about those things or do it from the back porch, but it's not directly connected. So I would have to, if any nonprofit, it would have to be used by the. Obviously by the nonprofit organization. So
yeah, I want to research them a little more. I mean, as I'm getting into the organization here, just researching because I always heard whenever we went to Philly, you always heard Green Legion. I mean, it's everywhere.
22 years, man.
So I want to meet Craig as well, just because I know he lives by where I used to live.
He's going to be taking a little bit of a step back.
Oh, okay.
Going forward, he'll still be around.
Right.
But not in the same capacity. He's earned it. He's been doing this.
He's earned it, I'm sure. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to focus a lot more on the radio show and things like that. But we can get you out on the road. Or if he's going to be at the game we go to in Philly, we'll get you, we'll introduce you there for sure.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, man. It's always good to
thank you
with you and laugh with you. I enjoy that.
So we always try to have a good time, man. That's what's most important.
Yeah. Well, you guys do. So thanks a lot.
Scott, take care. We'll talk again soon, my friend.
All right, brother. See you.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. Well, that was fun. All right, we had Keenan, we had Lou, we had Russ pop in, Scott came in. We've had a nice chat room going on over here. I know Spencer's in the room here, quoting a lot of what I said here with the CJ Gardner Johnson thing. Just a fun night. So it's what we wanted. Went a little longer than I anticipated, but that's okay too. So, like we do every week, folks, this has been the UnHappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio, part of the Green Legion Radio family, and proudly brought to you by the beautiful ladies and cheerleaders. 2740 South Front Street in Philadelphia. Call 215-467-1980 for all of your group and party needs. Guys, girls, kids, come on back again next week. And it's going to be time to get into the free agency, the possibility of franchise tags, the upcoming baseball season is going to start being talked about, as well as March Madness. Folks, take care. Enjoy the upcoming weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Remember, the judge is not back in until Monday. And as always, folks, go Birds. All right, y'all. That'll do it. Take care. We love you.